Hello, Padawans. Welcome to the final week of what has been a pretty good season overall. I went 15-1 last week, and I am now 183 wins and 73 losses. Not too shabby. The best prognosticator I've seen out there professionally is a guy named Bowen for ESPN. I've mentioned him a couple of times. Last 3 weeks, I've gained a few games on him. I'm only down about 5 or 6 games on him now. I didn't check it yet, but anyway, there's no way for me to catch him with this being the final week. No way he's going complete opposite of me and giving me a chance. And I can't get to 200 now, so I am going to be somewhere in the 190s. Man, not a bad season. Anyway, final week of betting. So, last week I had a 13-game parlay. I only bet $1. I don't bet more than I can afford to lose, and I've always just set myself a budget. I just cashed out $70, so I'm okay. I only start with $70 in every year, $50 in a year for the entire season. So that's why my bets are usually a quarter, 50 cents, $1, just depending on how I feel. Last week I bet $1, and I went 15-1, so I won a lot of money, right? Indianapolis killed me, or the Giants killed me, whichever you want to look at it. The Giants are a team so bad, they didn't bench their starting quarterback. They said, "You're out of here," and they cut him. And they still ended up beating Indianapolis. That was the only loss I had last week, and that was a $78 parlay that I only bet $1 on. That's life. I can afford to lose the $1, but it would have been cool to win another $78. Anyway, this week I have a parlay, and it's also $1, and it's a $73 payout with the odds. I did include 3 games that I thought were sure things in the NBA to drive up the odds a little, and it was successful. So all I have left are teams that should win, and I didn't bet on teams that I wasn't pretty confident in. So hopefully I finish the season strong in the hardest week to pick games. So, and an example of that would be Kansas City over Denver. I'm not taking Kansas City, despite the fact that they're a much better team than Denver. Denver's at home, they're division rivals, which brings us to division rivals. The NFL knows what they're doing. Week 18 is filled with division rivals to try and make all the games count, even Kansas City and Denver, because they hate each other. Here's an example for me. My favorite city is obviously Phoenix. I was born here, I live here, I love it here. And I love the teams that love to break my heart here, like the Phoenix Suns, or the Arizona Cardinals, or the Sad Sack Coyotes, who had the best sweaters in hockey, but couldn't win a damn game to save their lives most of the time. The Phoenix Mercury and the Arizona Diamondbacks are the exceptions. Both of those teams are quality. They're just quality organizations. However, Seattle has been my second love city. I don't know if I'll ever make it there again, but I love that city. It's beautiful. The people are kind and nice. It's just a great city. They were cursed by me being a fan. They were my second favorite team. When they were in the AFC West, they were the Arizona Cardinals of the AFC. That's not a good thing. But now they're in my division because the NFL saw fit to put them in the NFC West with the Cardinals. And when you play a team twice a year, you not only begin to hate the team, you begin to hate the fans. And that's hard to do because my college buddy is a huge Seahawks fan. Anything Washington, really. He's like me with the Washington teams. Anyway, that's another factor to take into account. Bad teams might win, and a great example of that is end of this season, the Carolina Panthers have been kicking ass. They aren't a good team yet. They always find a way to beat my Cardinals because they're the Arizona Cardinals. Anyway, so those are a few things to take into account. Now let's get to the actual picks. So we've got Cleveland at Dallas. No, Cleveland at Baltimore. Sorry, I couldn't read my writing from that distance. I'm taking Baltimore because it's Cleveland. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. This was a toss-up game. I'm going with Cincinnati because Burrow's been playing awesome. He just needs a little bit of help. Just a little bit of help. Carolina at Atlanta. Like I said, Carolina's been playing way above their heads, and Atlanta's been playing average. And now they have a fresh newbie quarterback, so I wish them luck. I don't have anything against Atlanta. Just think that this game, Carolina's the more passionate team right now. Houston at Tennessee, another rivalry game. Houston has disappointed all season long, but it's Tennessee, so I'm going with Houston. Giants at Philadelphia. Giants played way beyond their ability last week against Indianapolis. The Philadelphia Eagles are not the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going with the Eagles. Jacksonville at Indiana. This was a hard game to pick, and it's the last one I picked. It took me a whole day to make up my mind on this one. The other ones I had done within a minute of each pick. I'm going with Indianapolis Colts because they're at home, and Jacksonville has just been really devastated with injuries to critical players. So probably going to be Jacksonville just because I picked Indianapolis. So I didn't pick them on my parlay, though. So I'm going with Indianapolis reluctantly. Washington at Dallas. Washington has been in the toilet for a very long time. Another thing I know a lot about as a Cardinals fan. However, this year they're playing really well, and they've got the Rookie of the Year in Jaden Daniels. For all of you who bet him being Rookie of the Year, good for you. For all of us who did it, who bet on Marvin Harrison Jr., thanks, Drew, for not knowing how to coach a fucking game. Drew Penting, you deserve to be fired. I could coach better, and I'm disabled from COVID. Yes, I could coach the offense of the Arizona Cardinals better than you can. They need to find someone else. Somebody who actually can have a full-time job and then some. All right, so, Washington over Dallas. Chicago at Green Bay. Chicago doesn't have anything to play for but pride, but Green Bay is not going to let their pride grow. Green Bay will devastate them, no matter who's playing at quarterback. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. I mean, New Orleans has just been a shit show since they beat Dallas in Week 1, making us all think they were a good team. Nope, they are not. Buffalo at New England. It's Buffalo, it's New England. I'm going with Buffalo. Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, the Raiders came through for me last week when I predicted them to win, but I'm going with the Chargers this week. San Francisco at Arizona. Another thing that is a good lesson to learn when you're making betting parlays, never bet on your own team because you always see them as better than they are. That's the case with me and the Arizona Cardinals. I have not picked them very well this year. I've lost way more picks than I have won because I've believed in them, or I picked against them because I didn't want to jinx them for 4 weeks, and that was when they had their 4-week winning streak. It's hard to pick your home team, your favorite team. Try to stay away from them in parlays. I'm going with Arizona this week because San Francisco looks like they're pretty bad. So, knock on wood, Arizona gets another win. I'm hoping they draft Cam Scatabo. That guy is freaking amazing. I think him on the field as a fullback or H would be devastating to other teams' defenses. So, hoping we get him. So Kansas City at Denver, as I mentioned. Denver, because they're at home and they hate Kansas City, and Kansas City has nothing to play for. Seattle at the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I'm rooting for the Seahawks still. Miami at the Jets. I'm going with Miami because the Jets have just not been good. Minnesota at Detroit. This is a toss-up game. If it was in Minnesota, it'd be Minnesota. It's in Detroit, so it's Detroit. And I'm going to go with 45 points. Good luck on your week, and take care. Thanks. I used the whole 10 minutes. Sorry.